Hello YouTube. In Slavic mythology and folklore, the Firebird, in Russian жар-птица, is a magical and prophetic glowing or burning bird from a faraway land, which is both a blessing and a harbinger of doom to its captor. The Firebird is described as a large bird with majestic plumage that glows brightly, emitting red, orange, and yellow light, like a bonfire that is just past the turbulent flame. The feathers do not cease glowing if removed, and one feather can light up a large room if not concealed. In later iconography, the shape of the Firebird is usually that of a small fire-colored falcon, complete with a crest on its head and tail feathers with glowing eyes. It is beautiful but dangerous, showing no sign of friendliness. A typical role of the Firebird in fairy tales is as an object of a difficult quest. The quest is usually initiated by finding a lost tail feather, at which point the hero sets out to find and capture the live bird, sometimes of his own accord, but usually on the bidding of father or king. The Firebird is a marvel, highly coveted, but the hero, initially charmed by the wonder of the feather, eventually blames it for his troubles. The Firebird tales follow the classical scheme of a fairy tale, with the feather serving as a premonition of a hard journey, with magical assistants met on the way who help in travel and capture of the bird, and returning from the faraway land with the prize. There are many different accounts of the Firebird stories, as it was primarily told orally in the beginning. But is жар-птица a fairy tale only? You know, the terrible fires that struck San Juan and its surroundings in the 1980s attracted the attention of not only local residents, but also scientists and researchers from all over the world. No one could explain the reason for such frequent and destructive fires that consumed everything in their path. But one day, Spanish researcher Salvador Freixedo witnessed the flight of the Firebirds, and his discovery caused a real sensation. Eyewitnesses told that the fire appeared suddenly and flared up with incredible speed. Some even talked about the appearance of huge birds with flames instead of feathers before the fire, but such evidence was not supported by the majority of people who consider it implausible. However, everything changed when Salvador Freixedo himself witnessed the flight of the Firebirds. It happened in one of the villages near San Juan. The fiery creatures appeared suddenly, and with them the smell of ozone spread in the air. The birds flew over the roofs of the houses and disappeared. Another witness, a newspaper seller, told how the store building caught fire at the very moment when he was at his door. According to him, flaming birds appeared before the fire, and their flight was accompanied by the smell of ozone. The Firebirds differed in size. Some were giants with small wings, others were smaller, but they waved huge wings. As soon as they touched the wall or roof of the building, they instantly flew away, and the building itself began to burn. No amount of effort could extinguish such a fire. Numerous fires claimed the lives of many people and animals, and the capital of Puerto Rico was gripped by panic. There were rumors about the impending end of the world, but suddenly the Firebirds disappeared as quickly as they appeared. It turned out that San Juan was not the only city visited by these mysterious creatures. According to the evidence, similar phenomena were noted as early as 106 before Common Era during the Roman Empire. In the Middle Ages, fire creatures also visited France and Portugal, where they were mistaken for fire spirits. Some people even made sacrifices in their honor. There are different opinions about the nature of Firebirds. Some consider them to be aliens from another planet. Others see them as sources of demonic forces. But so far, no one can give a definite answer to this riddle. But who was Salvador Freixedo? Well, he was almost 90 years old when he passed away in 2019. Salvador Freixedo was a Spanish Catholic priest and a member of the Jesuit order. A ufologist and researcher of paranormal subjects, he wrote a number of books on the relationship between religion and extraterrestrial beings, and was a speaker in several international UFO congresses in Europe, in the Americas, and Asia. He was also a contributor to a number of paranormal magazines, such as Mundo Desconocido, Karma 7, and Mas Allá, among others. He also appeared in a number of TV and radio shows dedicated to these subjects. He lived in a number of countries in the Americas from 1947. In his role as a Jesuit, Freixedo taught history at the Church of the Interdioceso Seminary of Santo Domingo, and he founded the movement of the Christian Working Youth in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And he was the national vice assessor of this movement in La Habana. He studied humanities in Salamanca, philosophy in Universidad de Comillas, theology in Alma College in San Francisco, California, ascetics in Mont Laurier, Canada, and psychology in the University of Los Angeles in California, and in Fordham University of New York City. Since the 1950s, his critical position on the postures of the Catholic Church and the publication of some books led him to jail and to the expulsion from countries like Cuba and Venezuela, and also to his exclusion from the Jesuit order in 1969. Since the 1970s, he had dedicated himself to research in the field of parapsychology, in particular the UFO phenomenon and its relation to religion and human history. And he had published a number of books on the subject and founded the Mexican Institute of Paranormal Studies, of which he presided over the first great international congress. Very interesting person. And as for the Firebirds, understand that we have not heard legends and mythology yet of people who live in Eurasia and Africa and so forth, but there are stories, and you should check out my video in the Yakutia playlist about the strange gigantic birds of Yakutia. And I'll continue bringing you more stories about the phenomena, paranormal phenomena, related to Slavic mythology, of course, and folklore. I know quite a lot about it, and there are very interesting stories. And if you like my channel, please kindly subscribe to it. Please tell others about it, and like my videos. And if you can help my research, you'll find the links and how to do it in the description to this video. Thank you very much for your attention to my work.